I have half a cup of water next to me, but
Well, let's be honest, who's going to touch that?
I hydrated before this. So at least there's that.
Welcome back, guys, to the Red Rum and Red Wine podcast, the podcast where we talk about murder, mystery, and mishaps while being two of them ourselves. Here's one. My name's Kristen.
Hey, Sara here, your other mishap.
I'm just like, I fucking just want to dance. TikTok needs to not with me. I need to stop. I need rehab, I think. just a little bit. Yeah, so Sarah's turn.
Again, not redeeming myself with a lighthearted story.
But honestly, who wants? Do we come here for lighthearted? No. I think we come here to be depressed and drunk.
I'm here to share the world's horrors with you guys.
And they're out there, man. Oh, man. Yeah. Like one of the ones I have for a international case that I want to do. So what we drinking today? We got alcohol involved.
Heck yeah. It's a day recording here at Red Rum and Red Wine. And I am drinking a FCA IPA. It's from North Carolina.
Rolls off the tongue very nicely.
Yeah.
I have a green tea because my child got me fucking sick. But let's be honest, I'm probably not going to drink it because I already chugged half this White Claw that's on the side. And yeah, it's honestly made me feel a little bit better. So do I regret it? No.
Yeah.
Will I have more? Probably. Yeah.
Has my throat been sore the past day and a half? Yeah. Have I been drinking tea? No. I should be. Yeah.
I mean, it was a really good idea. I put some honey in there, but it's like hot, and it's a hot tea, and I'm just like a cool White Claw from the fridge.
Shout out White Claw.
Sponsor us, please. Come on.
They're coming out with new exotic flavors.
Oh, I've already had that blackberry one or whatever. That one's good. The others I can't talk for.
You know which one I haven't had in a long time? That I got in Florida when I was there for spring break last year is the rosé flavor.
They have a rosé flavor?
Yeah. And it has pink roses on the can. And so it's
White Claw?
Yeah, and it obviously does not taste like rosé. It tastes like White Claw, but it just has a nice little taste to it.
I have never heard of that, and now I need to have it. Now I need to buy one.
Yeah.
I wonder if Amazon sells it.
Ooh. Do they deliver alcohol?
You know, probably not. But Amazon is everything from A to Z.
True.
Alcohol is the first letter of the alphabet. I mean, you gotta have it. Hello.
Let us know, Amazon.
Let us know. We'll also sponsor you. I mean,
you'll sponsor us.
Yeah, that too. That one. Mm-hmm.
That one.
No, that half White Claw didn't get me drunk. Anywho. So, why is my mood dampening? I want to know what kind of, do I need to be scared? Do I need to be angry? Do I need to be sad?
Okay, so this story may hit home in a way if we've ever dated or been with maybe a violent or scary person. My title for this one is Love is Blind.
Oh, are you coming at me low-key in this episode?
No, because I would never wish this upon anyone. And no.
It's a lesson learned for why. I can't. So I will be scared because I fall into that category, unfortunately. unfortunately.
I know.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, I got the idea for this case/episode from watching an episode of A Wedding and a Murder on Hulu.
Oh.
Yeah. And
don't think I've heard of that
it's
one.
a fun little series, you know?
A wedding and a murder, I mean.
A running theme, so...
I always make the joke that a wedding is just a funeral, so this show seems like it is right up my alley.
Ugh. Yeah. So go check it out. Yeah, it's a nice little series. So for this one, we are in Saginaw, Michigan.
Sorry,
I was like, am I Twitch glitch shake
glitch in the Matrix? Okay, I'm so sorry. Can I just talk real quick about the thing about the glitch in the Matrix with the celebrities and all of the TikToks? You don't watch TikTok. All the TikToks are coming out right now showing, like, have you seen the one where Cardi B just glitches when she's doing an interview? She just, like, stops, and then, like, there's one where Eminem glitches, and then there's one where, like, Shaq glitches, and I'm like, oh my god, these celebrities are selling their souls. Sorry, go on.
Okay, I'd love to read into that later for sure. Like, if you have any links, send them.
Oh yeah, like maybe even like a drunk mystery topic for sure.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Because I love these kinds of conspiracies, but also like some of those people have done hardcore drugs and are probably twitching.
Yeah, I looked at the Eminem one and I'm like, that just seems more like he's high, but it's fine. Okay, sorry for the distraction. I just had to throw that out there.
So we're in Saginaw, Michigan.
Yes.
God, I keep wanting to say Massachusetts.
What the fuck is that?
Like Missouri and Massachusetts.
That's not even close to Missouri. Oh, Massachusetts. Okay. I would love to spend a day in your brain. Just like just a day.
It's like a lava lamp sometimes. You know?
I think that's the best description I've ever heard. Okay. Take me inside this lava lamp brain of yours.
I'm not crying because I'm sad. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Michigan or with Saginaw, which I wasn't, so you know how Michigan is in the shape of a mitt?
I'm trying to even figure out where Michigan is on a map, to be honest.
It's like northeast. It's in that little dip where... So anyways, it's in the shape of a mitt.
I'm going to look at a map.
And Saginaw is like down here in the mitt.
Okay.
Just not that our listeners can see the mitt I'm making with my hand, but Saginaw is located in the area between your thumb and your fingers, like in the bottom of your palm.
It's by New York. I'm just making I'm really showing my dumbness on here.
Well, okay. I even looked at it on a map earlier, but I didn't zoom out enough to see where it was in the U.S. I just saw where Saginaw was in Michigan, and I just know that it's northeast because of the water north of it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's more than I would have gotten, so props to you.
I only passed geography because it was based on group work, okay?
I can't even tell you how I graduated high school, honestly.
I was never there. I literally had to go to truancy court. And I still passed.
I was there, but mentally I was not.
I was literally an AB student.
I was until I wasn't.
All right. So we're in the early 1970s. Terry Igaz was a young waitress at a place called The Scene, and this is where she met Gabriel Ferris. Mm-hmm. So this place called The Scene was a local bar hotspot for locals, college students, all of the above. And so when I say The Scene throughout the story, I'm not referring to like the crime scene or anything. I just want to clarify that because I will mention it a few times. This bar place, is like almost like a dance club as well.
Yeah.
Is called The Scene. So this is where Terry Igaz meets Gabriel Ferris. She worked there, but
Okay.
I think she was just there hanging out with friends when she met him, because she was just hanging out when suddenly someone put a fur coat on her from behind, and she turned to see who it was, and it was Gabriel. So that's how they met. And
Smooth.
they apparently danced all night. So, like I said, a lot of the information on this I got from the episode on Hulu, and Terry speaks throughout that episode of her account on things. So,
Oh, okay.
like, she's the one who said, they danced all night. So,
It's from like her account
yeah,
perspective.
a lot of
Yeah.
it is, yeah. So, Terry described Gabriel as a trendsetter because he was the only one she knew that would wear fur coats in the summertime, because it was summer when they were like...
Because I don't think that's trend setting. I think that's more logic.
Well, and you'll find out why probably in a second he did that, but I don't know how far in between it was when they saw each other next. I assume it wasn't too long, but the next time they did see each other was at the same place, the scene. Terry was hanging out, and Gabriel asked her if she wanted to wear his fur coat, and she was like, yeah. Because she described how it made her feel special. Like, it felt like he, like, was choosing her, Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I get that.
She was smitten, so...
Yeah.
Terry felt like her and Gabriel were meant to be, because when they danced, it was like they had rehearsed it. It literally just like flowed, and she just described how sparks flew on the dance floor.
I just can't wait to hear how you fuck it all up. How this relationship gets all fucked up. Because as soon as I hear that, I'm like, okay, honey, sure. And I believe you, but
Yeah.
bitter bitch.
.com. A few months after they met, Gabriel and Terry's relationship became more serious. He treated her like she was the most special woman ever, and Terry described just absolutely falling for Gabriel. Gabriel came from Rust Belt royalty, which the Rust Belt is an area in the Midwest that got its name due to declining and rusted abandoned factories from like before the 70s, I think, that all happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably like the industrial.
That's literally just what one of the sources meant or said, and so I looked it up, and so basically I think his family business came from some part of the Rust Belt because his parents owned a fur company called Ferris Bros Furs. Ladies ready
that
to
explains
wear.
The fur.
Yeah. So he probably rocked that shit all the time, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this was also before we did not approve of the fur. So shit was popping.
So Gabriel came from a certain extent of privilege. Because of this, Terry was pretty intimidated when it came time to meet Gabriel's parents because of his, where he came from and their business, and that he did come from some sort of privilege. She said that when they met, they were very nice to her, but also on that occasion, Gabriel and Terry broke the news to his parents that they were getting married.
Oh.
Yeah. So when they do that, Gabriel's mom tells Terry, "Good luck. You'll need it."
Oh. Mom.
Although this remark wouldn't stop Terry from marrying Gabriel, she would definitely think back on it later.
That is the mom. Oh, the mom. Oh, she knew. Oh, that that sits with me weird. Oh God, honey. Then don't let your son fucking date.
I know.
I get it. You can't control him. Just put him in a psych ward. Just do something.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I'm assuming he's the bad one. Okay, let's see if I'm right.
So about 6 months after they met, 27-year-old Gabriel Ferris and 22-year-old Terry Igaz got married.
How long had they been together at this point?
They got
Like,
married
not
6
long.
months after they met.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you probably just
I
said
lit
that.
it. Yeah, I did.
Sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was paying attention. I promise. Oh my
It's
god.
okay.
I'm never opening my mouth again.
So Terry describes her wedding day. It was June 13th, 1974. She was waiting at the church for her groom to arrive. I think she was up in one of the bride's room or whatever, and she was looking out of a window, and she saw him pull up on a motorcycle with his best man. She said he was in a tuxedo and looked super handsome. She was so excited to marry the man she loved and that she knew loved her. Terry said that she couldn't stop smiling on their wedding day. She was literally just so happy.
Oh.
Yeah, so
this is breaking my heart. She needs to be a little bit more sad on her wedding day, okay? That's all I'm asking.
So they get married, and the next day they head out on their honeymoon. They drive about 65 miles to a cabin on Lake Huron. And I believe the cabin they went to was actually the Ferris family summer home. So Gabriel's parents probably.
You were rich.
And yeah, because Terry described it as pretty impressive and definitely super romantic for a honeymoon.
I mean, that would definitely not, if the mom said something and then I saw that summer house, I'd be like, I'm just going to ignore what you said, Mom, because don't buy me such a nice summer house.
Yeah. Because it wasn't just like a small cabin. It had like 3 or 4 bedrooms. It was
like a
in,
fucking
like
mansion.
on the water. It was nice.
Ugh.
But it was cabin style, but whatever.
Like that makes it any worse.
Right. So they got married on the 13th. They went on to their honeymoon on the next day, which was the 14th. So that next day, on June 15th, 1974, which I believe was a Saturday, yes. So back in Saginaw on Saturday, the 15th, Maxine Gutierrez returns home around 6 a.m. from a night of partying. And as she makes her way upstairs, she gets an eerie feeling. When she gets to the top of the stairs, she looks over into the bedroom that belonged to her roommate, 21-year-old Cheryl Miller. And all she could see through the opening of the door, it was like halfway opened or something, all she could see was a pair of legs on the floor. So she calls out Cheryl's name a few times and she doesn't get a response. And because this eerie feeling has now turned real and basically her gut tells her to fucking run. So she runs out of the house, or I believe it was maybe an apartment or duplex type of thing. She runs out because she was scared for her own life. She runs to her neighbor's house and had them call the police.
Good girl. Damn. Oh my god. I'm like cold from how hard I'm chilling right now. Like,
I know. I'm chilling too. When police arrive, they go to the upstairs bedroom and find Cheryl Miller laying on her back, kind of next to a dresser in her bedroom. She was partially clothed. She was wearing what looked kind of like a men's button-up shirt, which was unbuttoned in the front. And she had a bra, like, covering her chest, but I don't think she was actually wearing it. The show, like, the episode wasn't super clear, but the way they made it seem was that it was just kind of on her, like, on top of her.
Yeah.
Her groin area was covered up with just surrounding, like, I don't know if it was clothing or a sheet or a blanket, but it was partially covered with something. I think it was maybe just whatever, it was like clothing or something.
Whatever was there.
Yeah. She had strangulation marks on her neck, as well as blood coming from her mouth. She also just looked like she had been beat up. She had marks and bruises on her collarbones, markings and stuff on her face, scratches, bruises.
So essentially just went through like the most brutal attack ever.
Like, can't even imagine.
Oh my god.
Strangulation did end up being the cause of death, with the time of death being between 5:30 and 6 a.m. And remember, her roommate got home around 6 a.m.
Oh my God. She was probably, the person was probably still in there.
Yeah, and this comes into play in like a few seconds.
Oh, the chills. Oh my God. Oh.
So, like I mentioned, it looked like she had been beat up. She had definitely been punched at least once in the face. She had been sexually assaulted. There was bruising in her areas.
Mm-hmm.
So this young and attractive female has been raped and strangled, and police start to gather more evidence and, zero in on suspects.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the evidence collected were some dark colored hairs that were found on kind of various parts of Cheryl's body.
Mm-hmm.
Her hair was blonde. These hairs were said to be either from the head, eyebrow, or genital areas of someone. It could have been one, either, or a few,
Yeah.
They did lift a few sets of fingerprints off of the dresser that was next to Cheryl's body, the staircase banister, and from the bathroom. So when I say a few sets, it was 3 separate sets. One they found on the dresser, one was from the staircase banister, and one set was from the bathroom. There was an eyewitness account from one of Cheryl's neighbors who lived across the street from her, and he mentioned that she had many male visitors. Cheryl liked to party and have a good time, so it was said that there were usually people in and out of the house a lot in general. But this eyewitness said that, like, from his house, he could clearly see into Cheryl's bedroom. Not like he was spying, but he could just clearly see the sexual things she'd be doing with various people, I guess. Like, he apparently told investigators, like, he just, like, saw things he wouldn't really want to say out loud. So,
okay.
I was like, why are you watching then? But
it, like, maybe put some blinds up if you, I'm just like, all right, that's fine. I mean, like, you shouldn't look, but okay. I guess it's relevant because it's information at least.
Yeah,
evidence.
I know.
Ugh.
I didn't even have that last part written down about him being able to see through her window. Because at first I was like, ew, gross. It's whatever. But then I, said it. Anyways, police start to wonder if Cheryl's attacker was interrupted by her roommate Maxine coming home.
Yeah. And
this theory is semi-supported, maybe because of the time of death of Cheryl. And the only... So I guess that you could say there was a sign of forced entry because one of the windows in the living room was open and had the outside screen off.
Oh.
And a part of the window curtain from the inside, obviously, was kind of hanging out of the window onto the outside, which suggests that the window was definitely at least the point of exit for Cheryl's attacker. So that was definitely noted. So it could be said that... Oh, also, sorry. Apparently the back door of the home, the back door lock was broken, and anyone who spent or hung out there a lot, or partied there, would probably know this. And so they could have maybe gained entry through the back door and then escaped through the window, or they could have entered through the window as well. You never know. But the theory is that, I don't know, in the show they mentioned that Maxine could have arrived home through the back door, which took away the attacker's point of entry-exit, so they heard her coming home and they left through the window in a scurry. So that's just kind of a theory, and it kind of makes sense. I just don't know, like, the part about Maxine specifically arriving home in the back door, I don't know if that's something she said she did, or if they normally arrived into the back door or what, but
either way, there were like multiple points where this guy could have potentially gotten in.
But there's for sure the evidence of the broken back door lock and obviously the open window.
Yeah.
When Cheryl's parents are interviewed, they give the police the name of a potential suspect. Cheryl had been dating a man named Abbas Esfahani, who was a foreign exchange student at Delta College on scholarship for soccer, and this was the same college that Cheryl attended. I haven't really said what she does or anything yet. Obviously, I will touch on it at the end, but Cheryl was a student at Delta College, and so was Abbas, sorry. Abbas was from Tehran, Iran, or Tehran?
Yeah, I'm not helping you there. Good job.
Yes. Cheryl had actually broken up with Abbas recently, and she told her mom that she was afraid of him because he had a pretty bad temper.
Oh, shit.
Cheryl's friends are obviously also interviewed, and investigators notice that Cheryl's friends kind of seemed like they were holding back or hiding something, but they literally related it or assumed it to be drug related because it was the 70s and, you know, it was a friend group that was always at the scene.
Okay, I do guess I understand that.
Drugs.
But at the same time, your friend is dead.
Yeah. And it literally just, that's all that it pretty much seemed and played out to be like in real life. So, you know, a lot of the friends that were interviewed mentioned how everyone in the friend group always hung out at the scene, and it was the social hotspot for everyone in general.
Oh my God.
Many of Cheryl's friends and lovers were actually placed there at the scene the night before her murder, which was the 14th. Friday the 14th. Because
oh shit.
Cheryl and her roommate were seen together partying at the scene on the 14th, June 14th.
When was the marriage?
The marriage was on the 13th, and they went on their honeymoon on the 14th.
Okay, go on.
So, you know, Cheryl and Maxine were hanging out at the scene partying, but Cheryl was seen leaving the scene before or without Maxine.
Say that times 5. Fuck me. Say that 5 times fast. I cannot.
So investigators asked Maxine if she had any idea who could have committed these heinous acts against Cheryl. She says, like, no, I really don't know who would have done this, but she does provide some names of, you know, a couple of men in Cheryl's life. She lists Abbas Esfahani and Gabriel Ferris. Cheryl Miller and Gabriel Ferris had met at the scene. I assume they immediately hit it off and began a sexual relationship. It doesn't really
gave her her fur coat.
Right, pull the same moves. It didn't really specify. But remember, this is also where Terry worked. So, anyway. Cheryl apparently really liked him right away. And, you know, I assume they were seeing each other for some time. But then she found out he got married. And she was really upset because she really liked him.
Well, yeah, because she's seeing him.
So, in her eyes, he random, like, from her POV point of view.
Thank you.
In her point of view, he, like, ran off and got married.
Yeah,
so I don't,
to some, like, random
so
asshole.
I don't think she obviously knew about Terry and that they had been dating 6 months. And that she, I guess, thought that her and Gabriel's relationship was maybe more serious than it was.
Yeah, Gabriel's
or that it was to
just
Gabriel.
Like, oh, I can just imagine the spit he is probably the shit. He's probably spitting at these girls, and it's like, yeah, no, he's probably like, you're the only one for me.
So sick.
No. It's like, I roll.
When Gabriel Ferris is interviewed, he states that it certainly could not have been him because he was 60 miles away on his own.
Yeah, of course. He said it exactly like that.
Because he was 60 miles away on his honeymoon at the time of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Terry, Gabriel's new bride, confirms his alibi, and because of this, Gabriel is ruled out as a suspect. When investigators look into Abbas Esfahani, they feel like they literally luck out and struck gold, because they speak with one of his friends, and he had confirmed that Abbas was at the scene the night before Cheryl's murder, and that Abbas and Cheryl had been seen talking or communicating that night at the scene. Nobody could really tell if they were arguing or anything, but we do know that Cheryl had ended things with Abbas recently, actually a few days before her murder.
Oh, shit.
And we know that he wasn't taking it so well.
Yeah.
But apparently they only really went out or hung out a few or handful of times. They weren't dating or going steady, as you'd say.
Yeah. And did Abbas know about Gabriel?
I don't know.
It's just
maybe not.
Probably not.
Especially because, Abbas is this they're two completely different people. I assume they kind of stayed separate.
Yeah, it was easy for her to keep them separated and not accidentally.
Besides the scene being the common denominator here with a lot. So who knows if they knew each other. Yeah. Really.
Maybe this place is really fucking big because Terry worked there too, and apparently she didn't see. Maybe this was a day that she was off.
Yeah, he probably went on her off night. That's fucked up. Yeah. Oh my god.
Ugh.
Anyways.
Knew her schedule.
Ugh. Abbas's roommate also couldn't account for Abbas's whereabouts at the time of Cheryl's murder.
Ugh.
So this was sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
Investigators get a tip from another Delta College student saying that Abbas had left the country.
Okay, yeah, that's a red flag.
Popping up everywhere are red flags. So the crime against Cheryl had happened on a Friday night, and that next Monday, Abbas had gone back to Iran.
Okay, I was thinking Gabriel did it, but now my attention has shifted elsewhere. What the? You don't leave? Oh my gosh.
I forgot to tell you to buckle up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what the fuck? Okay. Sorry, Gabriel. You're still sketchy as fuck. Oh, okay. So now this dude. A ring-a-ding-ding.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Right? He left most of his personal items in the U.S., such as most of his clothing. He disposed of his car. He dipped. So that Monday would have been the 17th. So the next day, on June 18th, 1974, the dark hair samples collected from Cheryl's body also kind of pointed to Abbas, because it was dark colored and Abbas had dark colored hair.
Mm-hmm.
Investigators were focused on trying to get a hair sample of Abbas's, even after him fleeing. So international police requested hair samples and fingerprints from Iran, and they did get them. So his hair samples could not be matched to the ones found on Cheryl's body.
Oh.
His fingerprints did match the prints lifted from the stair banister.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Right.
So, did they ever find out what this hair is?
Oh yeah.
Or it's just now we don't know. Okay. I'm thinking I have a theory. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
I'll let you know.
I definitely was like, what?
Oh.
Okay.
This is, my head's a hurting. I'm kind of regretting that hit of weed I took because I'm trying to stay focused. Okay, let's go.
So remember previously I mentioned there were 3 sets of prints lifted from 3 locations in the household.
Yes.
We've gotten to 2 now. So the dresser prints were of those. Wait, I didn't say that. I didn't say that yet. Just kidding. We've gotten to 1. The prints lifted from the stair banister belong to a boss.
So they have 2 that are unidentified.
At this point, 2. So we're going to hit the next one now.
Okay.
The set of prints lifted from the bathroom came back as matching a Tony Alvarez.
Okay, what the fuck?
So, police obviously just ask Maxine who Tony Alvarez is. And I think maybe even before they got his matching prints, they asked who, maybe frequent in the house. And she mentioned his name because Tony Alvarez was Maxine's cousin who would occasionally stay at Maxine and Cheryl's house.
Mm-hmm.
Investigators requested hair samples from Tony Alvarez. They requested head, eyebrow, and pubic hair samples.
Ooh.
The hair samples were a match to the ones found on Cheryl's body.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Oh, I was okay. Okay. All right. So 2 people killed her.
So the
what?
police have a new prime
What?
suspect. But
then why would he flee the country?
No.
Well, but why would the other guy flee the country?
I don't know. That's always going to be a loose hole in this one. I'll just say that now.
Maybe he thought he would, because we're racist. He was
he
like,
thought
oh,
his
fucking, I'm
life was
brown.
probably
I'm brown.
ruined
I'm
'cause
guilty.
They thought that he'd probably just be incriminated and arrested anyways.
Fucking night
saw
of,
the
man.
He saw the system for
Ruined
what it
his
was,
life?
man.
Yeah. Fucking night of. He ruined his life. And he didn't.
God. He's out here playing football.
Yeah. What the fuck? Okay.
Ugh.
So, okay, I guess I can see why you would flee the country. I did not think about that from that kind of perspective, but...
It looks sketchy as fuck. He probably didn't think about the other,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm half white, half Mexican. I look white. My thought process doesn't go right there. Okay, so now my eyes are on Mr. Tony Alvarez. Okay, Alvarez. I don't give a fuck what your name is. Mr. Tony. Okay, so now he did it, in my mind. Let's see.
When Tony is interviewed and asked about his hairs being on Cheryl's body, he had a pretty good explanation.
Okay. Fuck me.
So he had actually previously stayed in the bedroom that Cheryl was now staying in. When he moved out of that bedroom, she moved in.
Okay.
Tony was asked if he had left any belongings in the room when he moved out, and he claimed that he did leave a few small personal things like some clothing, random objects, but specifically he did leave one shirt that was a light blue denim button-up shirt.
And it was the shirt she was fucking
wearing. Which was the one
God
Cheryl was wearing the night of the murder.
Okay, so Tony didn't do it. Probably not. It's back to homeboy.
Investigators asked Tony to do a polygraph test because they see the possibility of a possible DNA transfer, but they want to make sure that he's innocent.
Of course, because that doesn't clear you right away.
So he submits and he does a polygraph test and he passes. But investigators want to literally double check, and so they make him.
And I mean, I don't really trust a polygraph, TBH.
Yeah, and back then they didn't have a whole lot to go on, so they wanted to double check.
And they did trust polygraphs a lot more.
Yeah, well, but still, at least they wanted to double check. So
True.
They asked him to do a second
them.
one, and he submitted again and did a second one that same day, and he passed a second time.
Okay.
So Tony Alvarez is no longer a suspect.
Yeah.
The fingerprints lifted from the dresser in Cheryl's bedroom belonged to none other than Gabriel Ferris. With Abbas Esfahani being out of reach and investigators really didn't have any hard-hitting evidence against him, they turned their focus back to Gabriel Ferris. So they contact Gabriel with questions to gather more information onto why his prints would be on the dresser, basically at the crime. So this is from the investigator's account. He apparently asked asked Gabriel if he had ever been in Cheryl's room, and Gabriel said, yeah, we made love in there. So the investigator asks, where did you make love? And Gabriel says, in the bed. So when the investigator asked why he found Gabriel's prints on the dresser, he said that he had helped move in various pieces of furniture into the bedroom for Cheryl because she had recently moved in.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of made sense. Gabriel's alibi had checked out. His wife, Terry, had been interviewed twice. So after this...
He's lying for him, though. Okay, that's
After
fine.
this, nothing comes from it. And in January 1975, the case starts to go cold. Fast forward about a year and a half later, in the summer of 1976, Gabriel, he kind of puts himself on the radar of the Saginaw police. He starts calling the police and investigators almost daily to ask about Cheryl's murder case and to ask if they had any leads, to ask if they had solved it yet. He'd be like, what, like, hey, how's it going? Have y'all solved it yet?
Go
blah,
take
blah,
care
blah.
of your wife.
He showed extreme interest on the case and on the progress made by investigators. And this was a red flag to one of the current investigators. So he actually met with Gabriel at a local bar to, not the scene, to kind of just retouch on some things. So he described Gabriel being, the investigator described Gabriel being super nervous during this meeting. And when the investigator asked him about his honeymoon, obviously because this was Gabriel's alibi, he wanted to retouch on things. So Gabriel gave super specific details with times and details and stuff. So
Ew. When you do that, like, okay, if you're trying to, like, get away with a murder, don't do that because no one fucking remembers that shit. Like, ugh. Like, you're trying too hard.
he literally was like,
hard. Here's my
at
itinerary.
11 o'clock, June 14th, I made love to my wife. Then we went to bed in between somewhere midnight to 2 a.m.
And a year later, you remember that? Like, no. I don't even remember what I ate for lunch. And that was 2 fucking hours ago.
Uh-huh. And when the investigator asked Gabriel if he would take a polygraph test, Gabriel absolutely refused. Which is another red flag.
Okay, so my eyes are back on him.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, Terry Igaz is tracked down to be interviewed again, which was Gabriel's bride. She was pretty nervous as well, but willing. So this is when we find out that Terry is now Gabriel's ex-wife.
Could have seen that one coming, and I bet that interview's gonna end up a lot more differently. Yeah. God, women, fucking stop doing.
Terry filed for a divorce shortly after her marriage to Gabriel. I didn't get an exact date, but I don't think it lasted a year. So
yeah. Well, like she probably like. Well, she did know the police interviewed her, but I'm sure, like, especially after that, just, like, shit got sketchy. Because it was, and then, like, the warning from the mom, and then this happens. I'm like, you can only ignore so many.
But it's crazy from her side of things, what we find out, what was going on through her mind and stuff, and what was happening on her account with Gabriel versus the things he was doing kind of behind her back. And it's just insane. So
yeah, like what a fucking double life, and she didn't even know she was fucking living in it. Oh my god.
But I'll touch on that later on how much she didn't know. So
poor woman.
Police didn't know that shortly after Gabriel and Terry returned to Saginaw from their honeymoon, that the marriage that Terry was so happy and excited for turned to shit. Gabriel's not so nice and violent side started to show. So during this interview or whatever meeting, Terry fills investigators in on Gabriel's true colors. He would be really rough with Terry and, like I mentioned, violent. When he wanted sex, he would have it. He would get it. Ugh. He seemingly got a high from having violent sex, including things such as choking. Gabriel would apparently erupt in anger with violence over anything, seemingly over nothing. One time he called Terry a slut, so she spit in his face.
Hell yeah, she did. Sorry.
Yeah, but in return he punched her and broke her jaw.
What the
So after this interview with investigators, Terry, she's walking out of the station, going about her day, and then she walks right back in. She says that Gabriel was standing around the corner outside and that she was fucking scared.
Oh! I just got 5 degrees colder. Oh.
Yeah. So one of the investigators that was just, speaking with her goes out to ask him, what was up. He literally was like, what are you doing here? And Gabriel says, oh, I just came to talk to you guys, and I noticed Terry was walking out. What a coincidence.
I'm literally hyperventilating. I can't. I'm so glad we are doing this during the daytime. I'm afraid to go out of this fucking closet right now. Oh my god.
This investigator immediately called bullshit and just assumed he was stalking Terry. So he was like, yeah, all right, okay, why are you here? And Gabriel said that he had some names that he wanted to give police, to help the investigation out. And the investigator was like, he literally said in the show something verbatim to Gabriel, like, we both know they didn't do it. Referring to the names, Gabriel wanted to give. But without hard-hitting evidence and the lack of technology back then, investigators didn't have enough to arrest Gabriel with the crime. So the case goes cold again for 20 years.
Terry couldn't even validate that, on the honeymoon he wasn't there or whatever?
We'll get there. Just a few bullet points, I promise.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. In the spring of 1994, the case comes to the desk of Saginaw detective Roy Allen Walton.
And Kristen arrived into the
room. He spends months reading through all the case files and pretty much determines that the original detectives on the case were totally on the right path in suspecting Gabriel Ferris.
Yeah.
He contacts, Detective Walton contacts Terry Igaz once again. I say once again because, it's her. She's been contacted multiple times, but it's his first time contacting her as the new, detective on the case.
Detective.
So, looking back on her statements and everything, he knew that she was always nervous coming in to speak with police and detectives. So this go around, he contacts her hoping that she would be less fearful of Gabriel this go around because it has been 20 years.
Yeah.
But when Terry was first contacted by Detective Walton, she didn't want to speak with him. She hung up and shit.
Damn.
She was still very fearful of Gabriel and this whole situation.
That is so insane. 20 years this woman has, oh my god, had to live with that.
She does ultimately agree to meet with Detective Walton because he did let her know, he's only trying to help. He's not out to hurt her or get her. He literally just wants to help because at the end of the day, someone was murdered. So,
yeah.
when Terry meets with Detective Walton, she was shown the original transcript of Gabriel's statement to investigators from 20 years ago. And this is when Terry finds out that her husband wasn't only a violent asshole, but a liar and a cheat as well.
She didn't know that he was cheating on
No.
her?
In Gabriel's statement, he revealed that he had never been faithful to Terry.
Oh, son of a bitch.
She literally found out all of this dirt literally from his statement. She finds out so much more. Oh my God. So he was not only having an affair with Cheryl, but like 3 or 4 other women.
Oh, yeah.
Terry literally believed and thought that he was faithful to her throughout like their relationship, not only dating,
in
but
the fucking
marriage.
20 years that they were divorced. Oh my God. The like glass shattering reality.
Yeah, because even when they were divorced, she thought he was just an angry, violent asshole. She didn't know he was a cheater.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a fucking stab. Ooh. Ooh, she's ready to spill it. She's ready to fucking spill it. Spill it, Terry. Spill it.
Gabriel also reveals that his marriage to Terry never meant anything to him. Apparently, he literally flipped a coin to see whether he would marry Cheryl or Terry. We know which one he married, and we know what happened to the other one.
I've never hated someone so much in my fucking life.
Kristen's about to explode, y'all.
Oh my God. I can't. That's fine. No, it's not fine. Oh my God.
So Terry was absolutely blindsided and shocked by all of this information coming out. Thank God she got out when she did, because God.
Thank God. She would have ended up dead.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
So
1,000%.
Even 20 years later, it was still so hard for her to kind of open up to Detective Walton, because she said that from day one, Gabriel told and threatened Terry that he'd kill her if she ever did anything to him, meaning like act against him or, like anything like that. So she, from day one, was just had that writing on her. So, and she also mentioned that he constantly reminded her of that. He constantly reminded her that he'd kill her if she ever did anything, under that, his list of whatever that means. So,
dude.
But this go round, she did take the risk, and she shared her side of what happened during her and Gabriel's honeymoon. So, the morning of the 15th, in the early morning, Terry is asleep and Gabriel arrives home from somewhere. He comes into the bedroom, turns on the light, the bedside table lamp he turns on. He starts taking off his shirt. Terry wakes up because of this, and she notices blood on Gabriel's shirt. She asks him how he got the blood on his clothes, and he claimed that he hit a rabbit with the car, and he had to pull it out from under the wheel well. So Terry also said that Gabriel seemed kind of wired, and she had a little voice in her head that told her to not ask any more questions, to just kind of go back to sleep. So that's what she did. The next morning, Gabriel and Terry were hanging out, I guess just watching TV, because a news report comes on from back home in Saginaw. And it's a report of the death and murder of Cheryl Miller. Gabriel gets up off of the couch and stands super close to the TV. He starts crying and he puts his hands on the television. He tells Terry that Cheryl was his last girlfriend that he dated before he started dating Terry. He apparently then says something like, to Terry says, "Do you think I should go back to Saginaw to help the police?" And Terry was like, "No, we're on our honeymoon. Let the police do their jobs."
What the fuck? Ugh.
So, revealing all of this to investigators, Terry's story reveals that Gabriel's alibi is not as solid as it once seemed.
Mm-hmm.
But revealing all of the... Sorry, I have a horse laying next to me.
Pretty much. We'll post a photo.
Revealing all of this also puts Terry at risk because she's still super scared of Gabriel and scared for her life and just scared of what possible repercussions could have from her opening her mouth. So around the same time, investigators speak with another woman from Gabriel's past from, around the same timeline, I guess. And she told them of an instance where her and Gabriel were arguing, and he told her, "If you don't shut up, you're going to end up like Cheryl."
Well, oh my fucking God.
This woman...
Where was the police report from?
Yeah, I don't...
Well,
see, this woman was so scared of Gabriel that after that instance, she literally moved to another state and stayed there.
Fuck me.
This just shows how scary this dude is. Also around this time in the investigation, a friend of Gabriel's comes forward. He seemingly wanted to kind of clear his conscience because he tells detectives that 2 years after Cheryl's murder in 1976, him and Gabriel were smoking pot in a car, I think, with a few other people as well. And the higher Gabriel got, the more he talked about Cheryl's murder. Gabriel was sitting behind the driver's seat during this, and he apparently then reached forward and started choking the person in the driver's seat, saying, "I didn't mean to kill her, I didn't mean to kill her." I think this was like a little lash out situation. Like, he didn't actually kill the person in the driver's seat. He was just like having a moment.
Oh no.
But,
oh my God.
Yeah, so there's that.
I would never. Oh my God. No.
So here we are, 20 years later, and Gabriel is the prime suspect again. And with this new information from Terry, they pretty much gather that Gabriel went to go see Cheryl for like one last shebang, or maybe not even for one last, like just going to fucking be a stupid ass fucking asshole human male and to go see her on his own honeymoon weekend. Like, he probably got off on that fucking sick shit. So regardless if it was for one last shebang or for just going to see her, he did this on his fucking honeymoon. And we and investigators kind of assume that she rejected him because he had just gotten married, and she was upset that he got married, and I think maybe she was wanting to be respectful and didn't want to continue the affair. And so this caused altercation and caused for Gabriel to basically erupt. This idiot thought that he could have a girlfriend and a wife, or girlfriends and a wife. And when he got rejected, his ego was so large that he thought he could just fucking murder this woman and act like nothing happened.
Oh my fucking God. The fucking lowest of low.
So more than 20 years after Cheryl's murder, Gabriel is arrested in the winter of 1996.
Fucking fine. At least it happened, but wow, the 20 years it took.
Yeah. 46-year-old Gabriel Ferris goes to trial on felony murder charges. During the trial, he gave off a cocky and confident persona. Apparently, he'd sit there and just make and crack jokes with his attorneys.
Ew.
He pled not guilty, with the argument that his prints were only in Cheryl's room because of their affair, and that anyone could have committed the crime. The evidence submitted in the trial was mostly testimonies from Terry Igaz, which were super crucial, but also testimonies of friends of Gabriel's that, he had made those confessions to and statements to.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't a whole lot of physical evidence against Gabriel. And so it was kind of like tense. Cheryl's mother was at the trial, and her and Terry actually met. And apparently Cheryl's mom told Terry that she loved her, and that was basically Terry's motivation to try and present the most earnest testimony she could to try and send Gabriel to jail.
Yeah.
She was nervous, of course, but she didn't want to let down Cheryl or Cheryl's mother. So there was some mixed information on the actual trial situation, because apparently there were a few trials.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure during the first one, the jury deliberates and they're hung. But then in 2004, Gabriel is tried again for the final time. And I think this is like the third maybe time.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if he was I don't know if he went to trial 2 or 3 times. I read kind of like evidence pointing to 3, because he submitted like some kind of petition that he got a mistrial the first time and they granted it, but then it ended up having the same results. And so basically, ultimately, in 2004, Gabriel is tried and found guilty and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Okay, good.
So whatever happened during his trial bullshit, it ended with some good fucking shit.
Yeah. Oh, a rotten life.
And that's where we're going to end it, with that asshole. So I will end on Cheryl Miller in a little bit about her. Mm-hmm. She was 21 years old and had lady blonde hair. She was athletic, a student at Delta College, and she did well in her academics. She was taking art classes, and she worked at a bakery. Mm-hmm. She trusted easily, had a fun-loving nature, was friendly, generous, well-liked, and popular. She even apparently owned a motorbike.
Aww.
Yeah. And Cheryl's aunt describes her as a shining star. So I also named this episode Love is Blind, because in the show or episode I watched, Terry Igaz says that at the end about her love for Gabriel, that love is blind. So she just, was so in love with him at first. She just didn't see his true colors and shit. So
damn.
Love can definitely be blind. I've been there.
Yes, I have too. It's hard, but you find someone around you, family, friend, that can help you get through it. Fucking reach out to this podcast. I don't care. It's just, you gotta find some kind of strength, because I know it never seems like it's going to get better, but trust me, once you get out of that situation, like, that's when the healing starts, and that's when you start to feel more like yourself, and it's a good feeling. So 10 out of 10 recommend. Wow, the twists and turns that one took.
I know. So I don't really know whatever happened with Abbas.
It's kind of crazy that they just kind of like let him go, even though he was kind of like the suspect of a murder case. But
honestly, good for him though, because he probably would have fucking gotten
probably
held forever.
Let's be honest. Yeah, he probably would have been fucking tried and found guilty for it.
With Gabriel Ferris, he had such like that controlling ego where it was obvious to him that he felt like he was getting away with murder, and like he was never gonna get caught. So
he already got away with 20 years. Like, he was like, why not the rest of my life? Let's be honest.
Yeah. So that shit is fucked, but he got caught and he looked like a nasty, as he aged in jail. We'll post photos of Obviously, Terry, Gabriel, Cheryl. Well, yeah, that was
Not the turn I was expecting to take, but oh my god, yeah, we took a good one. That was a good turn. That was a good story. Great job.
thank you.
Fuck. Still a little scared, but it's okay. I'll get through it. But yeah, guys, fuck. Make sure you always tell friends. If I ever go missing, this person fucking did it. Works every time.
Yeah, or even literally write it on a piece of paper and hide it somewhere in your bedroom.
Yeah. Fucking like, oh man, just.
Because there's
find a
another
way.
fucking show on Hulu that I want to start watching. And I forgot what the title is. It's like, if something happens, ... And it's a show, it's a series on every episode is about someone who gets murdered or something happens to them, but they kept a diary or of some sort. And in their diary, it revealed basically major clues and information on who their killer was.
Damn.
So,
yeah.
Always an interesting topic.
It's not you being paranoid, it's you solving your own case.
Hell
so.
yeah.
Fuck, dude. Well, shit. Until next time, guys. Fucking follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I think that's
Good
it.
Pods.
Good Pods, yes. Thank you.
At RARW Podcast.
Hells yeah. And until next time, guys, cheers to me needing a fucking emergency therapy session after this case.
Cheers to appreciating my genuine marriage.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Like, Jesus, it's so scary when you hear, like, of people living such double lives. You're like, holy shit. Like, people just are out here doing that, you know?
For reals, yeah. Catch me staying single forever after this one. So, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.